A woman wandering through the desert stumbles upon an abandoned airplane. For a brief moment, she thinks salvation is finally within reach. But as she gets closer, her hope vanishes. The plane is nothing more than a rusting wreck, long since stripped of anything useful. Desperate, she climbs into the cockpit, only to confirm her worst fears. Everything of value has already been scavenged. All that remains is a battered water bucket. Perhaps it could still serve a purpose. Spotting a pile of discarded tires inside the fuselage, she quickly drags them outside. With no other options, she sets them on fire, hoping the thick black smoke will catch someone's attention. With the signal set, she has no time to waste. Her 3-year-old son is still trapped in their car. Under the relentless desert sun, the interior temperature has soared to 201 degrees Fahrenheit, 94 degrees Celsius. Heart pounding, she fills the bucket halfway with water and sprints back to the vehicle. But when she reaches the car, her stomach drops. Her son is unconscious. Panicked, she douses the roof with water, trying to cool the interior. But the boy doesn't stir. Desperation mounting, she yanks a handful of dry branches from a nearby shrub and sets them alight in front of the car. The smoke billows, and she frantically fans it toward the vehicle, hoping the car's smoke detection system will trigger the automatic door release. But to her horror, her plan backfires. The only ventilation system in the car shuts down entirely, trapping the heat inside. Her heart pounds. Fearing the smoke might suffocate her son, she scrambles to extinguish the fire with the remaining water. But with no way to open the doors, she's running out of options. In a final act of desperation, she grabs a wrench and slams it against the car's window. The sound of metal striking glass echoes across the desert, but inside, her son remains motionless. Something is terribly wrong. Tears welling in her eyes, she presses her face against the glass and her blood runs cold. Her little boy's head has slumped forward, his body eerily still. A deep, gut-wrenching terror grips her. Is she too late? Has she lost him forever? A sob escapes her lips as she prepares for the worst. But then, just as she's about to break down completely, his tiny fingers twitch. Relief crashes over her like a tidal wave. He's still alive. He was only unconscious. But before she can celebrate, a low growl pierces the air. She turns her head and freezes. A snarling wild dog has appeared out of nowhere. Heart hammering, she snatches the wrench from the ground, preparing to defend herself. Instinct kicks in, and she dives under the car, hoping to avoid a direct confrontation. But to her surprise, the dog completely ignores her. Its true target is something else, the lifeless body of a deer lying just in front of the vehicle, one she must have hit earlier without even realizing it. Realizing the dog isn't after her, she cautiously pushes the deer carcass away from the car. But the second she does, disaster strikes. The vehicle, which had been partially propped up by the deer's body, suddenly loses its balance and starts rolling backward, straight toward a cliff. Panic grips her as she scrambles out from under the car, rushing to throw her weight against it. She digs her heels into the ground, using every ounce of strength to hold it back, but she's just one person, and the car is too heavy. No matter how hard she pushes, she can't stop it. Just a few feet away, the ground abruptly drops off into a sheer canyon. If the car goes over, her son won't survive. Then, just as all hope seems lost, the car jerks to a stop. A single rock, wedged under one of the tires, has miraculously halted its descent. Breathing hard, she stares at her son through the glass. His face is pale, his body weak. He won't last much longer. She needs to open that door. Now. Her gaze shifts to the edge of the cliff beside her. And suddenly, an idea strikes. A dangerous, reckless idea. But at this point, it might be the only way to save her son.